2022 is finally coming to an end, and I am really excited to wrap up this year because I'm definitely one of those people who loves the start of a new year. It makes me feel like I get a fresh new page, a whole new chance to just write a whole new chapter for my life. But before I start thinking about all the things I want to do in 2023 and setting new goals, I think it's really important to reflect on 2022 because there's a lot that we can learn and benefit from that reflection in helping us plan for the new year. So in this video, I want to share with you some of the things that you need to think about and do as you wrap up this year, especially around your finances. If this is your first time here, my name is THANDO. I talk about personal finance, building wealth, financial independence. So if that sounds like something that is up your alley, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my content. Careers and jobs are just one of those things that if you don't necessarily take the time to think about, you can just kind of keep going with the flow and to keep doing what you've been doing, which granted is fine for some people, but for a lot of people, they crave change, they crave improvement, they crave just becoming better and better at what they do or changing what they do completely. So I think it's really important to reflect on your career and how it's gone in 2022 and how you feel about everything that has happened within it. This will help you start thinking about whether or not you're satisfied with your career, with your job, with the company you work for, so that you can start identifying the specific reasons why you may not be satisfied with certain things. Let's say, for example, you feel unsatisfied with your job and you realize that actually you are unsatisfied with your job because it requires you to go into an office every day and you prefer to work remotely and have more flexibility. Then that is a great insight that you can take and it will help you to build new goals for 2023 and start thinking about some of the things you want to do next year. So if you're not happy going into an office, you must start thinking about, okay, how can I do this job that I currently do but remotely? Are there companies that hire remotely for this role, or do I need to change roles completely or careers completely? A second reason why it's so important to reflect on your career is that it will help you to start thinking about the skills and knowledge that you're accumulating year on year. And in those 12 months, you might have learned new skills, you might have gained new knowledge, and all of those things will help you to actually become better and better at what you do. So when you look at your skills and your knowledge, you start thinking about, okay, do I feel satisfied with my growth this year? Are there new skills that I wish I learned that I can learn in the coming year, or new types of knowledge or pieces of knowledge that I need to gain that I can actually start gaining in the coming year, and how would that benefit my career? We're always having to improve because our skills and our knowledge really are our currency. Jobs come and go, but the skills and knowledge that you have, those are valuable in and of themselves, and you can take them into a new company or to start a whole new business and you'll be able to use those skills. So it's really important to reflect on the skills and knowledge that you have so that you can identify some of the things that you want to improve or learn in the coming new year. And a third aspect that I think a lot of people don't necessarily think about a whole lot, but this is how much money you actually make from your career or your job. This is really important. We work for a variety of different reasons, but one of the most important reasons that a lot of people work is to actually earn an income in order to live a certain life and be able to build or provide for their family. And this is really important for us to just accept because it's just a reality of life. It's business. When you are working for a company, it's a business transaction. You offer your services and they pay you for those services at an agreed rate, right? And if you feel that you're not necessarily earning the income level that you would actually like to be earning, then you might want to start thinking about, okay, am I being underpaid, or am I being paid correctly and I just need to get new skills or work for a different company, or just negotiate my salary a little bit better? These are all things that can help you to start thinking about, okay, what do you actually need to do next? Do you need to start a new career? Do you need to start a new job that pays better? Or do you need to start a whole new business on the side, a side hustle to increase your incomes? The next thing is something a lot of people actually don't like doing during the year, and that is budgeting. A lot of people find budgeting tedious and just time consuming. A nice way to kind of get around that or to make yourself feel like you actually have a plan for your money without having to do it every single month, you can actually start creating a year-long budget for yourself. This will obviously require a lot of work up front, but it will free up your time a lot during the year next year. So if you create a year-long budget for 2023, you will know exactly what you're looking at in terms of how much money you will probably spend, and it will help you actually start projecting what your potential income could be. And a nice benchmark or a nice guideline is to use the income level that you had in this year. The likelihood of your income actually going up is decently high. So if you actually use your 2022 income level as a guide of what you expect in 2023, it means that as your income goes up next year, you will be able to actually save the difference without necessarily feeling it at all, because you've already planned your finances and planned your budget around a lower amount of money based on the 2022 income. So having a year-long budget is going to be so incredibly useful, because it will also make you start thinking about some of the things that you want to do next year that require more money, or are just ad hoc things. So let's say, for example, you want to travel next year to a new country, to several countries, or you want to give a very big gift to your family. When you're creating your year-long budget, it forces you to now start thinking about where that money is going to come from and how it affects the bigger picture. And this will really help you to just see what your financial plan kind of looks like for the coming year, what you'll be able to do. That way you won't make any financial commitments that might actually jeopardize more important things on your list for next year. So creating a year-long budget is going to really help you in just understanding what your finances look like for next year, and also prioritizing some of your financial goals for the next year as well. If you have never created a year-long budget, it can feel a little bit intimidating, but it really doesn't have to. I have a video where I created a year-long budget for 2022 for myself, and it also has a template that you can use in order to create your whole new year budget as well for 2023. You can go ahead and watch that video right after this one. It's on the little icon that just popped up now. And of course, because this channel is all about financial independence, it's really important to review your investment accounts and your savings accounts, just to see where you can actually maybe put in a little bit of extra money before the year wraps up. So looking at your tax-free savings account, how much money you've contributed to that, and try to estimate how much money you still need to contribute. And if you still have an allowance there, try and put in more money. But obviously note, your tax-free savings account, you can invest more money until the end of February 2023, but it's always really nice to just put any extra money before the year ends. And you want to also look at your retirement accounts, your brokerage accounts, just to see how well your investments are performing, because of course we want to assess how our investments are doing so that we can make any adjustments if needed. So review your investments, make sure they're still as diversified as you would like, and also just make sure that you are able to understand the performance of your investments for the year. How well have your investments performed this year? I know it's been a really rough year for the stock market this year, but it's just really important to just check in and know just where you are, so that you can have a clear picture of where you're standing financially. And this will also help you to calculate your overall net worth, which is obviously a figure you always want to be aware of, especially if you're trying to achieve financial independence. The next thing you want to think about and reflect on are your income streams. As we know, no job is guaranteed. The layoffs have just proven it to us once again. So it's really important to make sure that you're not only relying on your 9-to-5 income. And I know this is a position that actually a lot of people are in, where they only have the 9-to-5 income. So if you're in that position, it's really worth considering starting a side hustle and finding other ways of actually bringing in an income outside of your job, just in case anything happens to your job, because you want to make sure that you can take care of yourself and provide for yourself the same lifestyle even if your 9-to-5 job was to end. So here you want to start thinking about things like starting a side hustle or finding ways to actually earn a passive income. You can build passive income by investing and building a dividend portfolio. That may take a while, but it is one way of building a passive income, and you might also want to start thinking about building a business. This is one of the greatest ways to actually get a second, third, fourth source of income, because a business can pay you in several different ways. So consider starting a side hustle. And when I talk about side hustles, I think we should really try to avoid like gig-based side hustles. It's great if you are trying to make money today, you really need that 1,000 rands like today. Sure, driving Uber will get you that money today, but it's not necessarily the greatest plan long term. So instead, consider starting a business around something that you're good at, offer services, sell goods, something along those lines, and build and scale. And I know it can be tricky figuring out what exactly you need to do for your side hustle and figuring out what you're actually good at. A trick that is really easy to help you figure out what you should start your side hustle around is to just ask people around you, ask your friends, ask your family, what are some of the things that they think you're really good at and that they would actually be willing to pay you for. So for example, I have a lot of my friends, they come to me, they tell me all about their money issues, they ask me for my opinion, and I know that that is something that they think I'm good at in terms of helping people manage their personal finances. So that is something I can monetize, and I have monetized by building a side hustle around that. You can ask your friends, ask your family, and identify those different skills and unique things that you do that you're really good at that you can monetize in the form of side hustle. But having multiple streams of income is absolutely crucial, especially going in 2023. And again, the layoffs have just shown us and just reiterated again that it is really important for us to not rely on just one source of income. And speaking of income, this was not something I was actually going to mention originally, but I think it's really also important to just make sure that you check in on your credit score, make sure that you check in on your taxes. Make sure you're tax compliant, file your taxes, make sure SARS knows what's going on so that you don't run into any issues next year. And also you want to make sure that you check your credit score. This is literally free to access. You can access your credit score completely for free, see your credit report every single month as they updated. So you just want to make sure that you know what your credit score is, what your credit report looks like, and just make sure that you actually recognize all the accounts that are on your credit report, because it does happen sometimes that people steal other people's identities and open accounts. So you might, if you don't check your credit score, you never know. If you never check your credit report, you'd never know that someone in Polokwane opened an Ackerman's account with your name and ID. Now you have this thing on your credit report that you have no idea where it came from. So it's really important to just always check in on those things so you know exactly what is happening in case there's anything that you actually need to dispute with the credit bureau. It's really, really important. Make sure that you do it as the year ends so that you just start out the new year, knowing exactly where you stand in that space. And the last thing, and I think this is probably like the most exciting thing outside of everything that I mentioned today, it's still as important as everything else, and that is celebrate everything that has happened in 2022 positively for you. Celebrate all of your wins. If you had financial goals that you met, be sure to celebrate those. It's really important to celebrate your wins, celebrate anything that propels you forward towards the life that you want to build and live. Those are all my tips for this video in terms of the things that you need to think about as you wrap up the year. What are some of the things that you think about when the year ends and you're starting a whole new year? What are some of the goals that you're thinking about? What are you excited about for 2023? I have a lot that coming up in 2023, a lot of uncertainty, but I'm really, really excited for the new year. I'm super excited to hear about your goals and your aspirations for the coming year. And again, as always, please leave me a yellow heart in the comments so I know that you watched until the end, because I always appreciate it when you watch my videos until the very end. Thank you so much, guys. Have a fantastic December, and I will see you on my next video next week. Bye.